I can't get enough of you. Subscribe, like, and share. The next afternoon, Secretary Song Moon-kyung knocked on Tae-joon's office door and entered. Director, Ms. Han So-eun has called in sick today. She had confirmed this early in the morning from the mobile service team. Tae-joon responded without expression. Got it. Moon-kyung nodded and turned to leave when Tae-joon called her back. Chief Song. There's a device Ms. Han So-eun was working on. It's an elderly customer's folder phone, and I think he's been waiting a long time. Tae-joon gave instructions in a business-like manner. Check if she properly handed it over and see if there are any issues. Should I contact the customer? No. Contact Ms. Han So-eun. She might not answer since she's on sick leave. Should I ask the mobile service team who took over? Contact her directly. Also, check if she's okay. Moon-kyung, not fully understanding his intent, blinked a few times before replying with a slightly tense expression. After Moon-kyung left, Tae-joon clicked his mouse with an indifferent expression but then sighed deeply. Yesterday, before So-eun left the car, her words replayed in his mind. Have you gone through rough times in your life? Who helped you to move on back then? Even a fool could effortlessly poke at someone's deepest wounds. No, you don't know anything. Hard times? Of course. 20 years ago, when his parents died, leaving him alone in the world. The despair from that time still pained Tae-joon, even after 20 years. That's when I met you. You have no idea. That's why you can say such things. To Tae-joon, Han So-eun remained frustrating, foolish, and annoying. He was even angry at himself for caring so much about someone so annoying. Still, he couldn't help but worry about her. Did she tell him they should break up? Is she dealing with the aftermath of the breakup? He hoped her pointless heartbreak wouldn't last long. At Yeoljia Law Firm, after returning from court, lawyer Lee Chanail followed Hyuk. Lawyer Yang. Yes, senior. This matter is unfortunate. What do you mean? It's a shame what happened in Japan. What are you talking about? The business trip didn't go well. The foreign talent called to say that he didn't want to move on with the recruitment. Hyuk's face, which had been bright, stiffened. The headhunter had assured him the deal was practically secured, so Hyuk returned with high expectations. Now, they said it was off after just one day. So Director Kim Tae-joon was also very disappointed. He wants to cancel the contract. What? Can they just inform us one-sidedly like this? We received the travel expenses and will bill for the service fee. Just consider it a good experience. Good job, Lawyer Yang. Chanail patted Hyuk on the shoulder and left. Hyuk's shoulders drooped in defeat. Chanail's continued words made Hyuk's heart sink. The only grandson of Chairman Kim Jae-pil of K Group, second in line to inherit. It had been promising. Damn it. He had been dreaming a happy dream. Flustered, Hyuk stammered. Meanwhile, Hyunji emerged from the conference room with a bright smile. Appa. Oh. Hyunji. We got fired. What? From the company? Her loud voice made Hyuk subtly signal her to lower it as he shared the news he just heard. Because of the affair? I'm not even married. How is it an affair? No. Kim Tae-joon fired us. What about the money? They said they sent the travel expenses, but there's no success fee since we didn't succeed. Is being rich everything? Does he think he can just look down on lawyers? It's okay, Appa. Hyunji comforted the frustrated Hyuk. At least we got the travel expenses. I enjoyed spending time with you. How could she be so positive? The brightness in Hyunji, something he never felt from Han So-eun, pleased Hyuk. He thought about pulled Hyunji into an empty conference room so they could share a kiss in the privacy. But just at that moment his cell phone vibrated. Appa, you got a call. It was his sister, Yang Hee-jin. This sister was never helpful. Ugh. She always calls me at the worst times. Breathing heavily in frustration, Hyuk answered the call grumpily. What now? Have you heard from So-eun? Heejin's voice sounded anxious and hurried. He hadn't contacted So-eun since their argument, spurred by her demand to tell Hainji about her surgery. But he did worry she might act unpredictably. No. Why? Hyuk asked seriously. Oh no. What should I do? She found out. What did she find out? Heejin confessed tearfully. Yesterday, I went to the hospital with our Hyungwoo, and he told So-eun that I'm O-type. What? Our Hyungwoo can't lie. I tried to convince her that he was lying, but still. What should we do now? I told you to be careful around Han So-eun. Hyuk shouted, his voice echoing in the conference room despite the closed door. Hey, why are you scolding me? Fucking useless human being. How can you and your son be this dumb? He couldn't stand his sister or nephew anymore. So-eun, on sick leave, lay quietly in bed, spending her time leisurely. It was so easy to take sick leave, yet she couldn't understand why she had clung to going to work like a kid obsessed with perfect attendance. The sunlight pouring through the window was beautiful. The sunlight seen while working and while resting was completely different. So-eun traced the straight lines of sunlight with her eyes, watching the dust particles float goldenly in the bright space. Though she couldn't remember who, someone in her childhood had said this. Golden dust. It was a pretty term, but in the end, it was just dust. Dust mistaken for gold dust. Dust mistaken for love. It wasn't love, but lingering attachment. She had to end this attachment now. But even when she resolved to end it, her heart softened again. Isn't it a waste, honestly? Honestly, it is. Yang Hyuk was a man who valued face, so if she insisted on marriage, he might reluctantly go through with it. But such a position would be miserable. She couldn't live her whole life as a couple with a man who didn't love her. Wanting to be loved a little more, respected a little more. It would be better to live her way without expecting anything than to live her life always watching for signs of approval. Still, isn't it honestly a waste? Can you really leave without gaining anything in return after cutting him off? Wouldn't it feel satisfying to at least claim some compensation? Selfish thoughts pricked her like thorns. But she couldn't. She didn't want to put a price on her decision. When she had climbed onto the operating table, she had resolved never to regret it no matter what happened. So it was done. It's okay. She had saved a life. And it was her choice. Even though there had been times she was blamed for things not her choice, this was far more fulfilling. She comforted her own heart, which no one else comforted, as she reassured herself. Her phone vibrated. It was Chief Song Moon-kyung. So-eun answered in a hoarse voice. Hello, Manager Han. It's me, Secretary Song Moon-kyung. Oh, Secretary, is there a problem? The director asked me to check in with you. Is there something wrong? I took a sick day today. Yes. He wanted to know if you properly handed over the folder phone repair you were working on. Here I thought he was worried about me. So-eun chuckled weakly. It was just like Director Kim Tae-joon to show concern this way. Yes, I asked a colleague to handle it. If you need more details, you can contact Jang Eun-pyo in the mobile service team. Okay, I'll let him know. How are you feeling? I'm fine. I'll be back to work tomorrow. You sound like you're not eating well. Make sure you eat properly. So-eun tried to end the call, but Moon-kyung kept it going. I'll send you a gift card. Order porridge from a nearby place. Okay. No need for that. It makes me feel better. Get well soon and come back healthy. Thank you. Chief Song Moon-kyung was a kind person. Even though she often thought there was no such thing as kindness without reason, good people like Moon-kyung made her feel hopeful and regain her strength. Even strangers who didn't know her situation worried about her. She couldn't collapse. She needed to sort things out properly. Cleaning up neatly would allow for a clean start. Finally, So-eun managed to breathe a sigh of relief. Her fingers felt lighter as she dialed Hywook's number. After a few short rings, Hywook answered the call. "Hey, So-eun." Unlike when they parted on Saturday with him angry, Hywook's voice was quite soft. Of course, it had to be. He must have heard from his sister about what happened on Sunday. He needed to keep So-eun calm and not let her get angry. As expected, Hywook quickly brought up the topic before So-eun could even say anything. "So-eun, I'm glad you called. I needed to talk to you too. I heard you confronted my sister about being O-positive. You heard, huh? But my sister can't undergo surgery. She's Kim Malhee's daughter, so she's got the same liver issues. You need to understand that. If you're doubtful, I can show you her medical records." "Sure. Show me." "What?" "If you're so eager to show me, go ahead." So-eun replied in a flat, cold tone. Hywook hesitated for a moment before retreating. "So-eun, let's not fight over this. There's no way to undo what's done. We can't take the liver back from my mom and give it back to you. So-eun, you love me. If you do, you should want my whole family to be at peace and happy, right? Hywook, let's meet and talk. Tonight." So-eun cut him off and suggested, "I'm out of town on a business trip." "Then tomorrow night?" "I'm busy tomorrow too. Just make some time. It won't take long, I promise." "All right. I'll find some time. Can you come here?" "Yes, I'll come. Let's meet at 7 p.m. tomorrow, okay?" "Got it. I might be a little late because I'm busy, but I won't be too late. Wait for me." The call ended. So-eun stared at her faint reflection on the dark phone screen. So-eun went to work with a fully recovered appearance. "Chief, are you feeling better now?" Her colleague, Park Bo-bae, greeted her first. "Yes, thanks to you, I'm fine. Did you have a busy day because of me yesterday?" So-eun replied, handing over a coffee. It was a vanilla latte from a nearby cafe. Bo-bae's face lit up at receiving her favorite vanilla latte. "Oh my, you didn't have to. It was Chief Jang Eun-pyo who had a hard time." "Yes, I know." As they chatted, Jang Eun-pyo arrived and sat at his desk. So-eun stood up and approached him. "Chief Jang." "Yes, Chief Han." Jang Eun-pyo was as taciturn as ever. Since they hadn't talked much, even a simple greeting felt somewhat awkward. "Thank you for covering for me yesterday." So-eun politely expressed her gratitude and carefully handed over a drink. "Here, this is for you." "Oh, no need. It's a vanilla latte. Do you not like it?" "No, I like it. Thank you." Eun-pyo hesitated for a moment before accepting the drink with both hands. So-eun noticed his lips twitch slightly, trying to figure out if he was holding back a smile or trying hard to smile. "Are you feeling better?" "Yes, I'm feeling great. That's a relief." "Is he?" Smiling? "I'm glad to hear that." As Eun-pyo nodded several times in response to So-eun, the phone at her desk rang. "Manager, you have a call. I can answer that for you if you want." "No, I'll take it." It was a call from Director Kim Tae-joon. So-eun went up to the director's office on the 7th floor. Following Moon Kyung's guidance, she opened the door and walked in. "Director, you called for me." "Of course I did. I did tell you not to overwork on weekends and then get sick on weekdays, didn't I?" So-eun squinted and glanced vaguely at Tae-joon. He knows why I was sick, yet he's saying this. A lot had happened since then, and because he had seen her at her worst, he didn't seem as intimidating as before. Tae-joon, aware of this, watched her quietly before asking, "Are you feeling better now?" "Yes, I am." "Have you sorted things out?" "It will take about 2 weeks." I'll do my best. No, I'm talking about what happened on Sunday. Tae-joon seemed unconcerned about delving into So-eun's personal affairs. In fact, he almost regarded her relationship issues as his own now. I'll sort it out soon. Tae-joon's eyes narrowed at her response. I can see it. That's taking a long time. I thought you'd have sorted it out and rested yesterday. Are you meeting to end it? Yes, I plan to. So, Director, I can't work late today either. Contrary to her expectations, Tae-joon didn't protest, but asked a surprising question. Where are you meeting? In Seoul? You can get there alone. Yes. Are you going by yourself? Yes, I'll take a taxi. Come to the parking lot after you finish working. I'll also be going to Seoul. I'll give you a ride since it's on my way. So-eun flared her nostrils in surprise. Have you heard of this? The unparalleled welfare services of K Electronic Service, a company that provides transportation services to help employees quickly break up with cheating boyfriends. And it was the director himself who stepped in. Director, may I ask you something? Though she knew it might be impolite, So-eun spoke up firmly. Why are you so interested in my private life? Tae-joon blinked twice, his face impassive, before he replied, Have you ever watched morning dramas? Not at all. Try watching them sometime. They feature people just like you. Once you see one, you'll understand my position. It felt like her head was ringing. She had a headache. So-eun wondered why she even asked such a question and resolved never to engage in personal conversations with Kim Tae-joon again. Hey, look. I equally worry about every employee in this company, so go and finish your work. I'll see you later. Eat well and work in moderation. You'll need more energy if you're going to fight. As So-eun bowed and left, Tae-joon continued to mockingly encourage her. After she left and the door closed, Tae-joon sighed deeply. Seeing her in person reassured him somewhat, but her strained face didn't sit well with him. Why do I care so much about your business? Because I dislike you. Because I dislike the man you love. Their relationship began with resentment. A long time ago, he knew all too well that it started from deep-seated dislike. Even as he found her annoying, frustrating, and unlikable, Tae-joon was holding on to this tangled connection. Gold dust. Dust that only looks like gold. Knowing it's nothing doesn't make it any less beautiful. The sunlight streamed through the large windows. As he blinked once, twice, he felt like he could almost paint the spot where So-eun had stood. The light-filled space glimmered with floating dust particles, like gold dust dancing in the air. I like this golden dust.